ancient artifacts.
Hey, what's up guys? So I'm going to be talking about the meta that we currently have in the Crucible. So before I get into that, I want to talk about the gameplay you guys are going to see in the background. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It was versing some people that were lagging pretty heavily, but I still got some pretty decent gameplay, especially the one with the swords. And the one with the swords actually, you know, made me laugh a lot because at the end they were teabagging and they were kind of trash talking. Even though you can see in some cases that there was a lot of lag. So hopefully you guys enjoy that in the background. But let's talk about the meta, how I feel about it. And once again, this is all just my opinions and how I feel about the current meta. And at the end, you guys can tell me how you guys feel, if you like it or not, or if you agree with my thoughts on this. So if you guys didn't see my thoughts on the current update, I was actually kind of bad-mouthing the way the specials were, how I feel like, you know, it was a mistake that they left special or sidearms alone, but they took special away for everything else. Now that I played more Crucible, I was entirely wrong. I feel like I made a mistake talking too early, because now that I've spent more time in the Crucible, I feel like sidearms create such a huge opportunity for your primary gunplay that it balances itself out and it makes sense. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but you know, the updates or the buffs and nerfs that they did for the primaries really weren't that big. Obviously, you know, with the pulse rifles, you know, certain pulse rifles magazines being reduced, and also the high rate of fire pulse rifles being reduced in damage just a little bit. It didn't make them weak or underpowered. I feel like they're in a perfect spot right now, especially with the sidearm combo. I've seen some really great plays, and I've had some really great plays with that. But it also lets other weapons shine a little bit, like auto rifles and scout rifles. So auto rifles got a little bit of a buff with their precision. It wasn't a big buff. It meant they're kind of really in the same spot they've always been in. They're a little weak. You can still do some damage, especially if you have right angles and corners on them. But they seem better, and I think the reason why people think they're better now is because of the sidearm combo. Because there's been many instances where I've got kills with a, you know, auto rifle, and then I'm challenging a second guy and I get him pretty close to either no shields or half health, and then I can immediately switch to a sidearm and pick him up. And I still feel like it was the auto rifle that did all the work, even though it was a sidearm that kind of helped, you know, gave me a little bit of a crutch to lean on when I ran out of ammo or didn't have enough damage output on the other players. So, and then also going on to scout rifles, I've seen a lot more scout rifles in the Crucible, and it also gave me a chance to use scout rifles again, because I've actually put away, you know, weapons like the Mida, Ceros Just 43, M47, you know, kind of around the halfway point of Taken King, because the way the current meta was at that time really didn't allow for that kind of game style. But now that, you know, that's gone and we have sidearms, it gave me an opportunity to use them again and use them in different engagements, and you know, play them in certain styles that actually work now. And I feel like sidearms allowed this to happen to give more opportunity and variety with primary gunplay, because even though this current meta is heavily focused on primary gunplay, it can still be dominated by hand cannons and pulse rifles. But since the sidearms are, you know, left alone, you're allowed to use auto rifles and scout rifles now, which I think is great. And also kind of, you know, transitioning over, like I was saying, you know, with the sidearms, you know, creating more opportunities with primary gunplay with the different categories of primary weapons. It doesn't take away from special either. So I know a lot of people were not really too happy about the update or the nerf they did to shotguns, but shotguns are still great. I mean, obviously they're not in a great spot right now. I mean, they're a little underpowered, but they're not completely useless. I've actually got mapped a couple of times and was outplayed a couple of times with people using the shotgun still, and they weren't even the Matador Party Crash. They were like just random, you know, blue shotguns in the Crucible. And you know, it really just, I guess with the shotguns now, you just have to create a different playstyle that's more tactical and more strategic, you know, peeking around corners or sliding around corners to get your gunfights and, you know, close quarters area. But I feel like, you know, this is how shotguns were meant to be played in the beginning, and they kind of dimmed it back so where they're supposed to be, or how they're supposed to be played. But I still feel like shotguns deserve a little bit more of a buff. I feel like they've nerfed it a little bit too much, but, you know, just a little bit of a nudge, and they'll be in a perfect spot. But other than that, I feel like shotguns are still useful, and with their primaries, it evens itself out. But going on to snipers, sorry, I think I might have, you know, confused myself here, but snipers, same thing there. Since special ammo spawns so frequently, I really don't notice the since special ammo spawns so frequently, I really don't notice I don't have any special ammo. Usually by the time I run out or die with special ammo, I'm using my primer, which once again this is a primary a primary gunfight meta where that's where they're focusing on, is the primary gunplay. But even with the sniper, I could still get at least 1 or 2 picks every clip, or at least buy somebody and switch to a hand cannon to pick them up. So I feel like the other specials aren't really underpowered or useless, because if you really play them to how they're supposed to be played, they're still very viable in the Crucible, especially when it comes to 3v3, because I feel like snipers right now are very useful. Even though people are using nothing but sidearms, being very aggressive, you can still be very smart and get some really amazing picks with snipers right now, even though the sidearm, or even though the special ammo, it gets taken away every time you die. But like I said before, when you run out or die, you pretty much get it back pretty fast with the special ammo, since it spawns so frequently, even in elimination. And then same with fusion rifles. I feel like they're still really good. I mean, usually I can get two kills every time I have special in my fusion, and then switch to my primer for a little bit and then come back to the fusion. So I don't know, I guess I got a little sidetracked there with the special talk, but I guess the whole thing I was trying to say there is that specials aren't dead compared to sidearms. Yes, sidearms are a little higher on the totem pole, but if you're good with the certain special like snipers and shotguns, you can still do good now. I mean, they're not underpowered by any means. It's still viable. But I guess trying to wrap this up, I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling on about it, but I guess I'm really enjoying the way Crucible is right now, because it really, like I said, it really gives you a chance to experiment with your primaries, and I'm really enjoying it. Of course, I've always been a fan of primary gunplay, and I feel like this meta is allowing you to do that, especially with the sidearms being the way they are. It just gives you more choices and variety and opportunity to create new play styles, use different weapons, especially with primaries, and have a fun time with it. But I guess that's just my thoughts and opinions. Like I said before, I want to hear what you guys think about this, how you're liking, or if you're liking the new meta in Destiny right now. But I'm definitely enjoying it. I can understand now why they did it, because it, like I said, it does offer more opportunities with your primary gunplay if you have a sidearm. But like I said, it doesn't kill the other special. It's still very useful if you're good with them. But I guess that's what I want to talk about. I just wanted to say that I understand why sidearms are the way they are now, and I'm actually really glad that Bungie did that. But of course, that's just me. I really am enjoying this meta. I've actually had some pretty good games, and I've gotten better in Trials. So maybe that's why I like it more, is because I've gotten better in Trials. But other than that, I want to hear what you guys think. If you guys agree with me or not, and if you guys don't agree with me, tell me what you think should be different, or just talk about it. That's all I want to know, is just hear your thoughts on this. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, give the video a like, and that's all I gotta say. Catch you guys later. Peace.
Ancient artifacts.